Hello and welcome to Raider HQ After Dark. I'm your host, Raider. And in this video, I kind of wanted to talk about kind of a unique situation that the government shutdown has created that is not overtly doom and gloom or anything like that. I'm not trying to say this to freak you guys out. But I do want to kind of discuss a little bit about the process and how the government shutdown has taken key facets of the process and they have temporarily removed those key facets. And at some point in time, those key facets will have to be reintroduced and redone. So, what do I mean by that very convoluted statement? Well, let me explain to you the normal claims process. So, the VSR, rater, and authorizer, and there could be multiples of all of those that touch your claim. Each one of them has a quality pull, 3 to be precise, that are done each month by the quality review team, the QRT team. Either AQRS or RQRS, depending on if you're a VSR and authorizer or if you're a rater. Now, what typically happens is 30 days, 60 days after those staff members take their actions, the quality review team can do a pull, a quality pull on the one of those claims during that time period. So typically what you see is like every 10 days you get a quality pull. Okay. No matter what, that's the average. Sometimes a little bit earlier, sometimes a little bit later. But typically a quality pull during that period of time. Now that's on the staff member side. So staff members like VSRs who do your development phase, they get their quality pulls typically before the claim is completed. But what can happen is raters and authorizers who work the later stages of the claim, they can get their quality pulls after you have received your award. So sometimes that's where they say, hey, look, we found a clear and unmistakable error, and we're going to change this grant to denial. Now, that is the normal process, right? Like you have that potential to happen that either, look, the rater screwed up or the authorizer screwed up, something screwed up. It doesn't happen very often because you only get 3 quality pulls a month, right? So, but you typically have those statistics. What's different about the government shutdown is the quality review team is not an essential position. So they have been furloughed. So all of the normal quality reviews that would be done on this 10-day cycle, they're not being done. So you can have it. Now, here's the concern. Now, let me tell you, it's a valid concern because normally what my advice is 60 days after you receive your rating decision, you should be able to breathe a little bit easier because 60 days after you receive your final, rating decision, nobody's looking at your claim. There's no other quality reviews that need to be done. There's no other, unless you have a different claim, a separate claim in that could possibly raise it to issue. But let's say you have one claim in. You did an increase for your knee. 60 days after you receive that particular rating decision for your increase for your knee, that's about it for the range of QRT going back in time and grabbing something and going, wait a minute, this doesn't look right. But because the non-essential QRT have been sent home, all of the normal quality reviews up to probably like 60, 50 days prior, 30 days prior to when the government shutdown started, all of those quality reviews haven't been completed and they're still not being completed. So what we're getting is we're getting a backlog of those QRT reviews that need to be done. So that essentially boils down to if you've had a rating decision that was completed up to 30 days prior to the government shutdown and up to 60 days after the government shutdown, your rating decision isn't technically safe until probably, in my opinion, 60 days after, maybe a little bit longer. I would actually guess 90 days because they're going to have to do the normal quality pulls plus make up the historical ones. They just have to do it. Like there's no like, oops, the government shut down the system, so we're gonna not do those quality reviews. That doesn't happen. They have to go back and make those up. So I want to put this out as a PSA to all of you veterans out there that have had recent adjudications that I would not celebrate. I would not spend, and I know this sounds harsh, but I'm trying to be a little cautious because this is my anxiety disorder talking, is that I like to play on certainties. I like to be certain of something. And I'm not going to be certain like if I received a rating decision for myself within this time period, I would not feel comfortable with it being true until 60 days after the the government shutdown has ended. So I'm just putting this out there to you guys now. Obviously, 3 quality pulls is not very much, but it's still like you go from 60 days after the decision to where there's pretty much less than 5% chance of it being pulled for any reason. You're still at 100% chance for it to be pulled because they have to go back in time. They have to pull some of them, right? I don't know how many raters there are, and it's not just the raters, it's the authorizers too. Now, it typically won't be the VSRs that cause any kind of issues because they just order exams and do stuff like that. So, if a VSR quality error is the reason why your claim's being revisited, it might be due to the fact that like an exam that should have been gotten wasn't gotten. So sometimes those ones can be positive in a way. But the negative ones, and that's what I'm kind of cushioning for here, is the negative ones are the ones that the rater and the authorizer, something egregious was missed. And egregious either for you or against you. So I wouldn't hold your breath. Yeah, I wouldn't see any certainty in the rating decision you were given until 60 days after the government shutdown has ended. I'm actually going to push that to 90 days to let them catch up because it takes them a while to catch up. Now, should you do a supplemental claim? Like, let's say you get a claim that is adjudicated during the government shutdown, and let's say you get denied for something. Should you wait until after the government shutdown to do a supplemental claim, or should you do the supplemental claim? I'm going to say that I would do the supplemental claim and just treat the process like normal. Like if you disagree with the denial and you have evidence to the contrary, and you want to either do a supplemental claim or a higher level review, I would still do those during the government shutdown because what'll happen is, let's say you were denied for like the knee, and you were denied for the knee and you do a supplemental claim and they call a quality review error on it. Well, and they say that, hey, look, he was prematurely denied. He should have gotten an exam. What'll happen is they will reopen that old claim, the one that was denied, and then they will fix it to get you an examination. And then they will actually intertwine. Well, they have 2 different options here. They can intertwine the O20 and they can intertwine the O40, which is the increased claim for the knee and the supplemental claim that you filed. They can intertwine them together to say, hey, look, we're going to wait. We're going to get them an exam on the O20, and we're just going to, whatever the outcome is, we're going to attach both claims to it, and we're going to just, if it's a grant, then we'll grant. If it's a deny, then we will, follow the supplemental claim process and kind of figure that out. If it's a higher level review, I mean, those two are separate. They won't intertwine those two, but it'll just be grounds to get a new exam. So I know that some people would probably have asked for, hey, you brought this kind of issue up where, if our claims aren't fully adjudicated and there's still a potential for quality review, much further out than normal. What do I do if I was denied? So I would still go through the motions because you pointing it out to them can help on a quality review. So if QRT looks at it and they say, "Hey, look, he's appealing this," and they look through it, they're going to look through your appeal evidence too when they're doing the quality review. So, if your claim gets flagged for a quality review and you do a supplemental claim, it does help the quality reviewer kind of dial in on stuff that they might top sheet because they're trying to make up all these late and not completed quality reviews that are backlogged. So that's about all I got for you in this video. It's going to be kind of short. I'm going to be just knocking out videos. Next one's going to be an increase exams. I'm going to be talking about increase exams specifically. I'll probably put that one out tomorrow, and I'm going to keep putting out the Q&A videos, but I'm going to do some of these more educational videos in addition to. So we're probably going to have maybe 2 videos a day for a while. But anyway, that's about all I got for you today for my PSA for quality review and how fun that always is. But anyway, that's about all I got. Raider out.